The tech for this podcast was produced by Truth Digital. Truth Digital is the sister company to Cochrane & Co. We work in the same office, we drink the same coffee. We do websites, marketing, paid ads, social media, SEO, and all of the other things that will get you new business quickly and efficiently without the bullshit. Check us out, truthdigital.co.uk, or check us out on socials. All handles are Truth Digital. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you here again very soon. Right, brilliant. Welcome, Steve, to the UK Flooring Podcast. Give yourself a quick introduction, who you are, what you do, and then we're going to jump straight into it.
Yep. So I am Steve Jones. I've been in flooring since I left school 20 years ago. Worked for someone else and then started working for myself, then built a business, had a shop, or still have a shop, still have a flooring business actually, mainly commercial stuff. But for the last 2 years, I've been absolutely submerged into AI. And for the last year now, 12 months this month, I've actually been building a AI software for flooring businesses using my 20 years of knowledge.
I love that. Well, it looks like it's going to be a great episode because this episode's all on AI. So so I've written a few questions down, and we're going to jump straight into it because these are quick fire. Give as much back to the listeners as possible. If they're not using AI, they fucking should be in some capacity. But as like new things, it's a complete minefield. There's so many things out there. So what's the biggest AI opportunity a flooring business is currently missing, in your honest but humble opinion?
Yeah. So the biggest, I think, confusion about AI and therefore why it's being missed is just what AI is actually capable of. And it's not what it would be capable of, it's what it's capable of now. And that is essentially doing almost all of your admin for you, if not all of it. So a lot of flooring business owners, as well as everyone else, tends to use AI as the way everyone used it back in, I think, 2023, when everyone would just maybe ask it a question or put an email in and then get the email replied back and then use that as their email reply. And it's so far ahead of that now. So you can actually have AI basically run the majority of your business for you when it comes to digital admin. And that's the biggest opportunity that's being missed today.
And what is there any out apart from yours, but is there any, what platforms? I mean, exactly what you said. Someone emails in, you need a professional response. AI's gold dust for that, but
Yeah.
you know, some people are just using that now. So what could you use tomorrow that's out the box, that's available now with one of the big platforms that could save some of the admin?
As in emails specifically, or
No, just admin. Just what other things apart from, because most of the AI software I've used, your ChatGPT, Grok, and it'll reply to an email for you. Say, oh, someone's emailed me, give me a really good response for that. Most of them will do that.
yeah.
What other ones are out there that will take some tasks?
There's plenty of individual, what they call them is, so it's basically a wrapper where the whole business is essentially ChatGPT or Grok underneath with some simple prompts on top, and they will be focused on certain tasks. So you can go online now and search for like an email responder, and you'll get exactly that. It's basically what people are already using it for manually, but it'll kind of almost do it automatically. You've also got things like quote builders, where it's essentially still the old type of software in terms of it's a database, it stores your pricing, and then you tell it the job and it will create a quote. So there's all these individual apps or softwares that you can use now, but they all do one specific thing, and they tend to be very shallow, with no actual knowledge. So specifically with flooring, I don't think there's anything actually available where it's got real flooring knowledge baked into it.
No.
And that's the difference between actual AI software for specific trade, where it's actually got knowledge built in and it actually uses that knowledge to perform its task, compared to a simple database that stores the information you input first and then it sort of acts on that.
Yeah, which is the thing that possibly the lower end, not lower end, what's the word? People that are not really using AI to the full, they're using the prompt system to like reply to emails.
Yeah.
But if they go for the paid versions, as far as I understand, you can dump all of your own information in. So like, this is what my quote looks like. This is my supplier pricing. You could put stuff into it and say,
Yeah.
from all the information I've given you, give me this. You know, what's
Yeah.
my best seller? How much have I sold of this? How much have I done that? And most of the time, it'll be relatively accurate.
Yeah, so that's another way of using it. That's sort of the next level of use. So if you're using AI to write your emails, that'd be your next level, where you can actually create projects. So like on ChatGPT, on Claude, on Claude, you can actually create a project, and within that project, you can actually save like they call it a skill. So it's like a brief. So this is how I want you to work with this information I provide you each time. Act on it the same way. So you could give it that skill, so that every time, for the email example, you could say, every time I send you a message, your task is to create a professional email. This is how I normally write my emails. So write the email for me. Every time I dump a new email in, spit out the reply based on this, this information pack that I provided you with. That's definitely the next step to using AI in a useful way. What I would say with that sort of thing is that's great, but there's only so far you can get with doing that style of work before you have to learn a lot to manage the other stuff. So a good example I find is the Facebook ad stuff. So on the surface, a Facebook ad looks easy, but when you actually learn how to run ads, it's an absolute minefield. If you ever open up a Facebook ad, like the actual account profile, you will look at it and think, what the hell am I looking at? It's got all these different like CAC and cost per purchase, everything, all that sort of stuff. And it's an absolute minefield. And I actually learned to do that. And I think it took me probably about a year to learn of watching YouTube videos every night. So I think it's going to be the same with AI. You can definitely, and everyone can run Facebook ads quite simply. You can boost a post. And I think this is going to be the same with AI. There's going to be different layers to what you can do yourself and what you would need a lot of learning to achieve. And therefore, you're actually probably better off paying someone that's already providing that service to do it for you. It's all built in for you. And I think if you look at it in that sense, I think it's going to be exactly the same with AI.
And what if I was running a typical 500 grand a year flooring business? What are the first 3 off the shelf AI tools would you implement if they're using absolutely nothing and they've not got massive technical abilities? They're a bit stuck in the past, but they want to get a handle. Where would you start?
Because of what I'm building and the future I know we're heading towards, I wouldn't actually look to incorporate 3 separate AI apps or services, because the future, I think, is heading to a place where the AI becomes like the center of your flooring business, the brain that everything's dumped into and everything comes out of. And so it should handle everything. And I feel like if you are looking to incorporate AI now and you do start with 3 separate things, it's only going to be a matter of months before you realize, well, actually, this is the issue that I'm actually finding talking to flooring business owners, is they actually have flows made up of 3 or 4 different softwares. And the problems is this one doesn't link to that one, this one doesn't link to that one. I'm having to put information to this one, then double in and put it into this one. And that would be my argument with looking for 3 different softwares. You actually want to find the one that handles all 3. And the sooner you do that, the faster and the sooner that AI brain is going to learn your business. And so I would say you don't want to waste time now spreading your focus on all these other things when it should all be put into one thing to start with.
Just learn one. Do you think we're going to get to a point? Because I mean, I got an invite the other day for a Meta AI, so that that basically said it's going to learn everything about all of our Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts. But then surely if WhatsApp bring one out and Apple bring one out and then Google bring one out, and like as you said, if I had like a Tom Cockrell AI, and then you brought the where you could link them all together, so it all spoke like if you're on WhatsApp speaking to Janet, you're on Google speaking to Tony, and then put it all into one place, and then ask it a question, your head's gonna fall off. It's gonna be like, how did you know that? But obviously, it's literally what you do. It's only you that knows who's doing that. But you put that into an AI. I mean, it'd be quite scary in one way. But do you think that's where we're going? Do you know?
Yeah, 100%. There's 2 things there. So you've got the so everything's being recorded and stored, which is definitely what's going to happen. You've already got things like Claude now, and I think there's probably other ones where you can actually you get like a watch.
Claude, you can wear something around your neck, can't you? And it's listening all the time.
Yeah. So there's like you can wear it on your neck, you can wear it on your wrist, and you can put it on the back of your phone. And so what that's doing is it's bringing all the ways that information can come in. You're catching it every angle, and then all that information should fall into one system, and then that system has the whole it knows everything at all times. And the benefit of that is obviously the AI can work on that information, but also it's always going to be queryable. So you can ask the AI anything, it just know the answers to everything that you've discussed before. And obviously that's huge for everything, like running a business, timekeeping and everything like that. But the second part of that is you said about Facebook, WhatsApp, everyone having their own sort of AI versions of you type thing. I think, and this is the way that like the top AI people will say, is that we are most likely definitely heading to a future where everyone has their own individual personal AI. So you have one AI, which is your AI, but then, you can talk to it like, what's the name of Tony Stark's AI, that I can't remember what
I know who you mean. Yeah, I know who you mean.
So that's your one AI, but it then does. So you might, if you've got a foreign business, you would have your own AI, which would handle your personal stuff and your business stuff. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you would need to train your personal AI everything it needs to learn, and it doesn't need to learn everything about all the tiny little details that go into creating a foreign quote, because it's not just pick this product times it by 100 square meters at this price. There's a hell of a lot that goes into actual quote. You got the CIS returns and everything like that, VAT, reverse charge, loads of different individual things.
Yeah.
And so your AI will use softwares that you already set, for like example, WhatsApp. It would still use that software, but as like a link to use it, rather than you physically going on and doing that work or typing yourself. You would just tell your AI, whether it's on your neck, you would just tell it that way, whatever, and it would then go do the work in the app or software for you. And so you might not even need. So people say like software, SaaS, which is software as a service, right now will not exist, and it's kind of true, because a lot of it will actually just, you interact with it via chat, but probably actually through your AI first, which will then talk to another AI that, is a flooring AI. It would talk to that, get the output it needs from that, and then give it back to you. But then it can also run your personal life as well.
I've just realized my head's just completely fell off with this. So you could have a trained AI software that knows your business inside out, because you've input all the information. You could have 3 sales staff and an estimator, and everyone in theory could have one of these watches on, and even when the phone's answered, could have a recording device.
Yeah.
And then you can come in on a Monday morning and say, "Hi, Claude. Last week, what was the most talked about product?
Yeah.
What jobs did we price? What was the profit margin? Da 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 da. What improvements, Claude, from running a business like this could we do like this?" You could ask about 10 prompts.
Yeah, that's
And
happening now. That's possible right now.
yeah, but that's what and it's possible, isn't it? You could do.
Yeah, 100%, and that's happening right now. The biggest gap with that scenario is just trying to catch every single bit of information that comes in. And with things like the Claude, which was just discussed, that goes on the back of your phone or wear a necklace, but also OpenAI are actually they've teamed up with the guy, I can't remember his name, that basically designed the iPhone, not Steve Jobs or anyone like that. He actually designed the like how it looks and stuff.
Yeah.
Steve Ives, I think, or Tony Ives, something like that. They are now developing hardware, like an iPhone competitor, which will do exactly this, where it will take all in, it will have eyes and ears, and it will see and hear everything. And so, like a flooring app or software, AI software, can then use that information, and it can absorb it all, and then with its tools create the outputs, like the quotes, the invoices, the RAMs, everything like that, using that information. And another thing based on what you just touched on then is, say like a customer comes into your shop and says, "I want a kitchen floor," and then one of your estimators goes out, measures it, the AI will capture the measurements and stuff, but then that customer then comes into your shop, speaks to another sales representative and picks the floor in. Well, then that information is then going back into the same job profile. And then she might say, "Oh, I'm coming in next Friday to pay," or something like that. And then whoever's working in the shop that day might get a notification from the AI, a proactive notification to say, "Oh, Jane's coming in today, just to let you know. She's picked the floor in. We got the size and everything. She's happy with the coat. She's coming in to pay. This is how much she owes." And so that information is given to that sales representative before she's even walked in, so they know exactly who's coming in, why they're coming in, and what action needs to be taken.
I'd be interested to know, even outside of flooring, if some of the big brands like, Currys or Asda let's even say Currys. Imagine if all of the Currys sales assistants
Yeah.
had AI around the neck.
Yeah.
Like the data that would give, like head office of what the conversations
But
are.
and the data is one of the biggest benefits from this AI altogether, is the actual data and what that allows. And obviously that's going to allow a whole competitive edge as well in terms of pricing.
That's just, and as you said, it just needs setting up. So I'm wondering who's going to adopt. When you walk into a shop or you walk in and it's clear that they've got an AI system working. Because I've not seen it. I know it exists.
Yeah.
You probably, probably with what? Well, I might underplay this, but yeah, well, maybe with 2-3 months worth of work, you could set this up in a reasonable sized flooring outlet, like
Yeah, I mean,
quickly.
you
You know,
could you could quickly if the system's already built, but if you was to build it yourself, it'd take a long time. Um,
I mean, just the basic function of like listening to what thing, if you put it on the phones, you put it
Well,
on the.
you got the Claude there anyway. You can go and buy that today. Put the Claude on the back of your phone or wear the neck thing, and it will record all your record everything for you straight away and transcribe it, and it will save that whole transcription. That's
Um,
doable today just by buying that. But
Can
it's
you
then
buy multiple ones for the same system? So could you buy like five people?
you could. I've never actually tried the Claude. It's something that I'm looking to get and use for me specifically anyway, for what I'm doing. But I would have thought that you could record it all into one thing. But the whole idea with the flooring app, the system that I built, is that it doesn't matter whether Claude records it into one conversation or not. The API, which is the thing that allows that information to be passed into what I'm building, will allow every single Claude input to be put into the same system anyway. So my system would listen to all of them, and then it would take it from there in terms of where that information needs to go and how it needs to be acted on.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna check this after this. After the podcast to see if you do multi users, because that just could be just the data that you could get out of that, and yeah, that'd be nuts. What tasks should flooring business owners stop doing themselves today and just use AI to be faster and better straight away? What's anything off you can think of?
Well, the
Stop immediately.
email thing's the simple. If anyone isn't doing that, then that's probably a quick winner. It's so simple in it. You can just go on ChatGPT, open it, put an email in to say make it better or whatever. That's easy, quick win. But most people do that.
What are your favorite prompts with that? What prompts have you been using? Because I'm assuming yours have got better and better.
Yeah, I mean, prompts to me are a bit of a funny one because I feel like you need to. The prompt is more like a series of instructions on how to perform a task correctly. You've got to remember that the way I've been building it is actually it's part of tools and flows. And so I never really build a prompt for one specific action. But
Do you not prompt it and say, how do I build this? I've got no idea.
yeah, and to be honest, AI is actually so I use Claude 4, is it 4.8 now? Yeah, so and it's I think actually, and to answer your question better, actually, this is a good point, is the 4.8 now is absolutely insane compared to 4.7 as well, which was only released 3 months before 4.8.
Yeah.
4.8 is amazing, but we had this discussion the other day with a guy that asked, well, would I use why are people switching from OpenAI to which ChatGPT to Claude? If you're just using it to make emails and stuff, there's no point even considering
Okay.
changing. Like but when you're actually building something that requires really different models or powerful models, that's when you actually think, oh, this is why it's worth changing. That's when it becomes like which model is better and why. But if you are just using it for emails and stuff, there's no point thinking about which model you should use. But yeah, the point is, the 4.8 is so good that you don't really need to prompt it as much as you used to probably 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you could say, do this for me, and the output would be rubbish. But you can be quite basic and simple with your prompts nowadays, and it will, as long as you're kind of in a conversation, it'll get the context anyway, and it will actually produce the output you want. The only thing you really need to prompt it for nowadays is to be like a little bit more specific in like your tone in your reply or something like that.
That's what I find that works. If you, I'll prompt it and say, do some research on me, and then type in brackets who I am, and respond in a slightly humorous way, but with
Yeah.
a tone of seriousness, business or something like that. And so you can like, or I would put add more humor or remove the humor, things like that. Like not just reply to the email, it reply to this in a really professional way that a £1 million flooring business would reply to this, and that tends to get you little tweaks of those little words rather than just say reply to this.
Yeah.
They reply to this as a world-class flooring business, with a touch of humor and humanity, but mean business or something like that. And the thing I love about doing that, I type it in, I get about 10 spelling mistakes wrong, and it still understands what I mean.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I mean. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it is just those tiny little tweaks that you need with your prompt. So I think people talk about prompt engineering, stuff like that. That sounds scary. It's like, well, what am I doing wrong with my prompts? What do I need to learn?
That'd be a good prompt, wouldn't it? What would be a great prompt for emails on AI? And it'll give you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that is actually the best prompt, is to ask the AI yourself,
Yeah.
and ask it what it would say. It's just that good that you can almost ask it to do it yourself.
And what would be do you know any like absolute no-nos with our AI that you think still needs a human interaction?
I think when people think about using AI in their business, or more specifically their flooring business, I think AI shouldn't at this stage be customer facing, really, full stop, because I think that human sort of interaction, people buy from people rather than, um, if a customer was coming to you and every interaction was AI, I think they would probably be gone in no time. And so I do think that we will quite quickly actually head to a future where customers or consumers would not prefer to talk to AI, but expect to talk to AI because it is faster. It's going to happen there and then. You're going to get your quote within seconds, not days.
Yeah.
There's situations where even a customer is going to want the AI. I think definitely no. I don't think you should be obviously throwing AI into your customers' faces, but don't forget that we will most likely head to a future where AIs are talking to AIs anyway. And so your AI will use the flooring business software to create the flooring outputs, and it will talk to the customer's AI to arrange everything in between. And then it's actually only your fitters at the customer's house. Or maybe when you've gone to measure it, that's the point where the human interaction in the um that all forms there. But I think the stuff that is admin and stuff that will quite quickly become normal to be done handled by AI, and the customers will know that and
I've
expect.
got I've got a great example of this that actually has hit me right in the back pocket, if I'm honest. So I'm a director of a business that does flooring inspections, okay? And
Yeah.
we start this business, and the phone would ring. We would arrange an inspection for problem floors, basically, all across the country. We'd chat to the customer. The 50% of the customers we're chatting to were absolute time wasted. They had a 200 quid floor. They wanted a 400 quid inspection. It just didn't. Or there was people asking, or like, can we use different grout? Can we do, what glue would you use in this instance? Like, look, they were using it a little bit as a free advice service.
Yeah.
But then 50% of the businesses, we were doing, really strong business. We're doing 2-3 reports a week. Fantastic. But what was happening is we had this 50% of lunatics ringing us, asking us stupid foreign questions, which was very frustrating when you're trying to get on with, both of us have different businesses and things like that. It wasn't our main source of income, but cut long story short, we thought we're going to automate it with a bit of AI, a CRM system that's going to be a lot slicker. So what we did was we did a really better contact us form and say, fill this in and we'll send you a quotation for a report, which is a professional way of doing it, which you could in theory do for a flooring business in some way.
Yeah.
And put that form on, attached to a CRM. You fill that form out, it sent you a text message saying we've got your an interaction. We sent you an email saying thank you so much for submitting the form. We're going to be back in touch. We would then manually, but via AI, send them, hi Janice, thank you so much for sending us the information on your Carndine floor that's lifting at the edges. We've assessed your pictures, and a quotation to come and do an independent inspection would be this. Please find attached quotation. So super professional, like literally, Janice would be over the moon with this. And then literally, our sales plummeted 60%. We're like, what the fuck's happened here? Like, we're quoting 2 and 3 a day, using AI, but still, please reply to this email with a personal touch, in an empathetic manner. Like, that's what we'd even use. So, and it didn't look like AI. It literally looked like it looked like someone really nice replying to an email is what it looked like, but it was AI. And we've had to have a meeting the last 2 weeks and say, look, these people have got a problem floor. And with a problem, you want to speak to someone. You want a human interaction about, I need to get this problem solved. So we've now had to go from a third stance now of request a callback, fill the form out. You still get your text, you still get your email, but the form is a request a callback, which then alleviates people ringing with stupid questions when we're not ready for them, but we phone everyone back. Miraculously, the sales has gone back to where it was because we're starting to speak to people again. But it shows, even with using AI to a certain point and a really good CRM system, it was losing business. Like point blank, we literally halved our revenue, and it was very frustrating because we were quoting the same amount, running the same amount of ads, etc. But it proves that human needs it. Like, and I think that's even more, if you're choosing flooring, you can't just go
Yeah.
grey carpet, bang, 800 quid. You're going to lose every
Yeah.
bit of business you've got. You need to
Yeah.
talk about that grey carpet. But I think from the point of chatting to that customer, then using it to quote it and invoice it and do all your bits and bobs afterwards,
Yeah.
like gold dust. But I think that first interaction to get a new customer is people are going to be still very resistant to it. Well, I found it firsthand. It literally, I've got the numbers to prove it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's a good case where it's finding that perfect balance. And so what you've done is to incorporate a request a callback. That works because it's just enough effort for the customer to be willing to do to get the result, which is your feedback, without scaring them off, but also too much effort to scare off all the time wasters.
Yeah.
And so you found that sort of perfect balance in between where you're still getting the same sort of conversion rate, but are converting the ones that are worth converting. I've literally done exactly the same thing with leads. So flooring business owners will pay a flooring marketing guy to get them leads, and everyone that gets leads for flooring know that, especially with Facebook, probably 90% of them are absolute time wasters again.
Yeah.
And so we have a follow-up system that will respond to the leads within within seconds, really. But because of our quoting engine, it can produce basically accurate quotes from answering a few simple questions. And again, it's they are being asked by AI, and like you said, that probably scares them away. But in this situation, they're getting what they want, which is to quote as fast as possible. And then from there, they're like, well, this flooring shop has this system in place that allows me to get my quote when I want it, which is now. And therefore I see them as more professional, and I want to actually, because I ain't got to waste my time now trying to find quotes elsewhere, I'm just going to go with this guy. And so the people that use our lead handling system are like blown away by it, and they absolutely love it. And it obviously saves them from the stress of, oh, you've got a new lead, so now I've got to contact this person, and then they'll think, oh, I'll do it later. You've got 5 leads that day, you don't get around to doing it, and then they're all gone. And with a system like this, you're actually catching every single one, and you're still filtering away the crap, basically, and ending up with the good stuff. But my point in that is there's the AI facing system works in some scenarios, but not others.
No, that's it. And I think, yeah, as long as people don't get super lazy and then complain that they've got no business coming, I think you've got to always still pick that phone up. Yeah, that's, and people also, but don't have to do that. Yeah, it's easier, but if you also want to progress and more revenue, you've still got to try. But it does mean you can quote more in efficient time, so you're still banging the phone calls out. But if you're trying to do that, on Word and typing a quote out and typing 15 emails, you're coming in from a fitting job or in a shop and writing 15 emails without AI is literally going to take you probably 15 times longer. So you get more done in less time, but
you shouldn't use AI to be lazy. You should use it to make you more productive. Or if you've got enough work anyway and you don't want more work, you're happy, then have more of a life.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the way I see the whole point in doing AI at all. I would like to think is so that we can all actually get some freedom back, not so we can make shit tons of money. I mean, that's nice. We all want to make more money, but it's also nice to actually, the reason we make that money is to have more freedom and enjoy our lives.
Exactly. Yeah, and buy nice things and and do nice things. There's no point.
Exactly.
Having no time and loads of money. So, what job in the flooring industry do you think will be the first to be fully replaced by AI? Apart from email responding.
Anyone that sits down writing emails.
Yeah.
I think probably the obvious target would be in flooring, would be the estimator that doesn't leave the office. So he does is all on the computer, and therefore AI can do it.
Good.
That would be, but I wouldn't say that job's gone. I would say that then frees that role up to do more stuff. But also, if they're the one that's got the go ahead on the pricing, they're still going to need to check everything anyway. But the AI should be doing it so that it is perfect. But the whole
Taking the measurements off plans and just like,
yeah
even tenders and stuff. I'm assuming tenders with the right measurements on or details.
so
Like,
our system now can already build a line item quote just from reading the email that has the tender pack on it.
yeah,
Yeah, so the estimate is 100% the first one, because the other roles leave the office, interact with customers stuff, or actually fit the floor,
oh, love that. Love
or
that.
even talk to customers on the showroom floor. That's, you still want that. I don't think no customer's going to want to talk into a robot anytime soon.
No, no, I think it's no. No, but I think, well, I just think it looks efficient. I think I'm going to try this. The thing that the thing that goes in your phone or your watch. I think if shop assistants had that, and then can go into an email and say, oh, following all the information we just had this meeting about, write a really brief email discussing outlining what we discussed, confirming the appointment on Thursday, and then start preparing the quote for this address for this product, and we'll come back to it next week, and then bang.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, that's possible today. That's
yeah,
happening.
yeah. What's the most controversial AI opinion you have? Big
Yeah,
question, that.
yeah. I think it's that, and I've had this. So I've done flooring shows, and you see the reaction on people's faces when they read a board that says AI. I think our board says something like, "Stop doing the admin," or "Scale without the extra wages," stuff like that. And you can see the responses from the people that are not um, excited about AI, see it as a risk to their job, and it is a risk to your job if you don't adopt it, because someone that is adopting it will not take your job, but will probably take all your work.
Yeah.
The controversial view is that you should not use AI, because you're gonna kick yourself.
You're going to get left behind. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're left behind. Yeah, and it's done exactly what you was worried about it doing, taking your work. That's because someone that's using it is using it to their benefit, and everyone's going to expect you to be using it.
And just look a bit sharper. So when people expect to be, a bit sharper, it's,
Yeah.
I suppose even like, I mean, cause yeah, even you're thinking like restaurants and things like that. If there's like a API that you always go to a restaurant, it'll know what you drink, it'll know what you're gonna, what your favorite foods are, what it would recommend. And if it's that fast, it would even, these waiters that've got the iPads to the food, it could even register that it's the same customer and say, oh, medium rare on your steaks, you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
But if that becomes normal,
It will 100% become.
yeah. But then you go into another restaurant and someone's like asking stupid questions, you're like, well,
Then you're waiting an hour for your food because
yeah, why do you not know this? Like, it's
yeah, 100%, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Is it's just going to become normal. It's going to be odd that you're not using it, and we're not talking about this like it's going to happen in 10 years time, because people might think, oh yeah, that's all well and good saying it, but it's actually got to happen. But it's happening today, and
Yeah.
the people that start using it today are going to be that much further ahead tomorrow.
Cool. If I give you 10 grand now, and you've got to spend it by next week on AI, what are you going to spend it on? You've got to spend all of it as well.
Me in my position, or a flooring business owner?
Either. I'm going to give you 10 grand. It's got to be gone by next Friday.
I would probably just put it on credits. So API tokens. So when you talk to an AI, it uses tokens, and tokens is what add up to cost the money. And they refer to it like an electricity bill. You used to put a key, you put like £10 on the key.
Yeah.
And it would just use it until it gets to zero. Well, it's the same sort of thing. Like it's called tokens. That can get expensive. And to run an AI operator system, you are paying for tokens. That's your costs. That's your cost of goods. You're paying for API tokens for the Claude AI or the. So I'll explain quickly that the system that I use will use models like Claude Opus or OpenAI ChatGPT as its brain, but it's given all these tools and prompts and stuff to, and then that brain sort of acts on all of that. So softwares like mine and all the other ones that you will ever see will be paying these big companies for the tokens that they use. And so, yeah, I would probably just chuck it all straight into a token, a key that I plug in from my API tokens, and now I get up a year's free tokens.
And just out of interest, being nosy, apart from your time, because that would go into probably the tens of hundreds of thousands of hours, and
A lot.
how
I was paid for the last 12 months, pretty much.
how much money do you think you've spent cash money developing the software? Take time out of it, but how much?
Yeah, I don't want to think about it, but to be honest, like I'd done a different business a few years back, and that took a hell of a. That was a product. It was a footwear product, and I spent a lot of money on that. And the crazy thing about what I've built now, but what that is as a business, and what basically what other people are building similar, is that the actual costs to do it are actually ridiculously low. And the potential gains are massive. And so the time is the costly thing. Like I said, I've done 12 hours a day for the last 12 months, and that's probably 96-97% of the days. Like it's a lot. And financially, honestly, you only really pay for like database subscriptions. The main cost is the tokens, but you're only using tokens when your users are either using it or you're testing, and testing can get quite expensive in tokens because you need to just test the hell out of it, and that's going to cost you. But I have a flooring business that's allowed me to pay for this as well, and I would be amazed if anyone could do something in any industry similar without taking 12 hours a day every day. So they're not doing any other business, they're not earning money any other way, and they've also got to live, and they've also got to pay for the thing that they're building. So it's huge, really. But I've put myself in a position where I've been able to do that. So yeah, to answer your question, financially, it's not actually that big, really.
Cool. Can we go through, so anyone that's still on the fence, anyone that doesn't really use it, anyone that's dabbled with it, I'll use my very brief knowledge. So we've got ChatGPT. So basically what I mean is we're just gonna, if you can give us a couple of sentences on what your perception of what each platform is, because there's so many now. So for me, ChatGPT does basic imaging, great for email response, great for checking documents, great for writing copy, but probably older style. But I've used it for most things. Then, well, yeah. So what on we'll do ChatGPT first. What's your take on that? If someone doesn't know what it is,
It's I would say that actually they're all, if you're using it for simple things, they're all the same thing. They each have slight, like they're always going to have different responses, but even the same model is going to have a different response every time. And so really each model is what you make it, and that comes into how you prompt the pre information that you stack into it using things like projects. That's what produces the different outputs from each. But yeah, with ChatGPT, it was originally the go-to. That nobody else used, no one used anything else really, and I was in the same camp. But there was the big thing when it came to it. Claude didn't take an American military contract because they didn't want it being used for non-manned drones type thing, basically. which I kind of stood with, and then ChatGPT just went straight in. Oh yeah, we do it. And I think that made had a huge impact on how people thought about OpenAI in general. But I think they're sort of slightly clawing their uh, they're clawing it back a bit now.
So Claude does do more advanced stuff, but again, if we keep it on the basic level, is there anything that's slightly better with Claude on the very, very basic level than
No,
ChatGPT?
no, there's just so many models, and the benefit is being more, putting more input.
Right. Okay.
There's no real, on the simple terms, on the simple plane, there's no real differentiator. You just need to use it in the correct way and prompt it the correct way.
I found Grok provides slightly better imaging. Slightly. I don't know if that's, have you found that? Have you not used it or?
I've not used Grok. I think Grok's fallen behind quite a lot, and I think so. Elon Musk, that has built Grok, has actually just basically given most of his data centers to Claude.
Right,
So
yeah.
that kind of tells you a lot about how Elon Musk is going to build Grok, which is, it kind of isn't, because it's basically given all its compute to Claude. The two top players would be Claude and OpenAI. But the OpenAI have just quite recently released a new image generator, and I don't use it. I don't really have much use for images, but my partner uses it for all sorts, and the stuff she does with it is insane, and it is so real looking. It's unbelievable. But I don't see how it's going to get better, but it will. Like, it's so big already. You look at it, how can that image be any better? But
just more real. And is there any other basic? I know you're saying just stick with one, and other than that, but so you've got the three there. I've seen a Meta one pop up. It wasn't much, like, it didn't really seem any different. Is there any other little ones that are worth looking at for a certain task in any that you've come across, or is it just use the big boys? Or because there's that many to look at, but I've seen people use PowerPoint and different things like that will create slides for you. And
I
think is it Gamma? Is it Gamma? I don't know what there's ones that'll do presentations for you.
and I think Claude's just released a one where it will actually, so when you get a tender and the prices are actually on like an Excel sheet, it can actually reproduce that Excel sheet with like your prices on it.
Yeah.
So that's a useful tool. But if you're just using it for the most basic things, I would just pick one and just stick with it. Go with the cheapest, and just be better at giving it more information to get to tell it how you want it to output. The reason I say that is because it only really matters when you use it. So for like stuff like coding, which like foreign business owners just they're not coding. They shouldn't even be learning it. There's no need, because before long, and it's already happening now, I've built what I've built, you're going to be able to buy off the shelf products that do everything and everything 10 times better than you could have done it yourself. It's just pointless wasting your time trying. But then that's when it becomes a huge difference which model you use, because when it comes to stuff like coding, there's huge benefits to using different softwares, different models.
Cool. And finally, if anyone hasn't done, but give us a quick overview of BillyBot that you have built for Flooring Business, just so people know what you've spent like a couple of years of your life just sunk into. Yeah, just give us that.
So obviously I've been in flooring for 20 years. So what it's basically doing is, you can kind of look at it like my flooring brain has been put into an AI brain, but it's heading towards the future, which most flooring businesses are, where you do have this sort of center AI system that, like we discussed about the Claude, you got your emails, you got your customer interactions in the shop, on the phone. All of that information gets fed into this AI brain. Your whole flooring business's inputs go into one system, which is your center of truth. So that holds all of your data. Like you said, it can store every single conversation, every email, every aspect of that email, every quote line can be queried individually. So all that information goes into one brain, and that brain then has hands and tools that it can use to produce the quotes, the invoices, the risk assessments, the method statements, the cost assessments, the diary entries, the email replies. The list is endless. It goes on and on. All the things that you would normally do to make your flooring business work digitally is produced in that brain, and then output, you get your RAMs, your diary entries. It's all done, but it's all gone into the system. It's all been done for you, and it's all done, sat there waiting for you. So the only thing in between all that is your fitters actually going to the house and fitting the flooring. Everything outside of that, and don't forget, like, robots are happening, but they're a long way off. But there's probably definitely a future where robots are actually fitting flooring. It's definitely the last thing that they will do. Like they always say, like, plumbing's the best secure trade or industry to be in. But I think when they say plumbing, I think they mean probably trades. But let's not say never, because they are extremely good already. But we don't need to worry about that for now. So anyway, everything outside of your fitters in the house, fitting the flooring, BillyBot essentially will handle all of that. That doesn't mean that there's no need for people. Of course there is. We still go look at jobs, you have that human interaction, but it makes you more productive, which allows you to get more work or manage the work much easier and have more life, and focus on doing things you actually enjoy doing. And so, yeah, BillyBot is a system that basically is your flooring brain. And the stuff that it can do already is absolutely insane, and it's just getting better every day. And it learns based on everything that you do. It actually learns. It's got a learning loop, so it will learn from that. And one of the crazy things, as soon as you sign up, you can connect your email, and it will actually act on all your emails straight away. So it won't just read an email, tell you about it, and draft a reply. If it's got the information it needs to build a quote, it'll build a quote. And it's like, do you want me to send it? And you can just say, yeah, send it. Or it might say, oh, we need to know the sizes. Let me know when you've been there to measure it up. Tell me, and I'll create the quote. Or Jane's asked for risk assessments for the pub kitchen you're fitting tomorrow. I've built them. If you're happy with them, I'll send them. Do you see where it's actually doing the work for you rather than
it's prompting you rather than you prompting it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why it's called an operator, a flooring operator. So it will, you'll not, like you've just said, it'll prompt you. So you basically just end up with this list of things that it's done and you should accept it. But that's what it's doing now. It's asking you to accept everything before it does it.
Yeah.
But that's on purpose, because I don't think anyone right now is ready for something to be doing it automatically. But once they start using the system and seeing that everything it's doing, it's just saying, yeah, do it. You're just saying, yeah, carry on, carry on, carry on. You'll get to a point where it's like, I don't need to be accepting anything. And it's already possible now. It's purposely set so it doesn't do it automatically. But you'll have a system where it does basically run your flooring business for you. It is your operator. You're just feeding the information into it, and it's outputting the stuff you need to carry out the work.
Love that. And where website? What's the website, Steve?
Yes, if you just search BillyBot.ai in like a Google Chrome tab, that'll take you straight to the landing page. The actual app is app.billybot.ai. And then if you just search BillyBot on Instagram or Facebook, you should find it on there too. Yeah, BillyBot.ai. That's the website.
Love it. Well, thank you for spending this time on the podcast. Great one on there. I'm now going to go off and order a wearable Claude.
Yeah.
So messing about with it.
It'd be interesting to see how you use it and what you use it for, because the options are just massive.
Yeah, no, it's certainly got my ears and eyes thinking.
ELAUDE, I think, on the end. Claude. Yeah, and you can get it on Amazon, I think. And you have the mobile one and the watch one, both worth buying, I think.
Oh, cool. Love it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks
And
for having me on,
so-
Tom.
The sponsor for this show is us. Is Cockrell & Co. What do Cockrell & Co do? Well, we help flooring shops, retailers, contractors, wholesalers, and anyone connected to the flooring industry spend more time doing productive things, putting systems and processes in place, making more bottom line profit, and running their business much more efficiently than they ever thought was possible. We run training courses, we have a community of nearly 100 people, and this podcast too. So if you want to know more about what we do, the best place to find us is either on socials, Cockrell & Co, or the website, which is cockrellandco.co.uk. We'd love to speak to you about how your business is going, what your plans are, and how you would love to grow and mature that over time. There is no cost to have a conversation with us on Zoom or on the telephone. We now have a fantastic senior leadership team who can help you with 99.9% problems, and if we can't help you, we will find someone that can. So no matter what flooring business you've got, what help you would need, you just need to ask. That is all. So without the corporate waffle, without the bloke in the shiny suit, but someone that wants to make more money and spend time doing things that you love, we would love to hear from you. Again, visit cockrellandco.co.uk and send us a message, or find us on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.